But then next thing you know, in the spirit, I go up like what seems to another place, an even higher place, like way beyond this place. It was like, I couldn't even describe it in words. It was like 10 billion light years away from this realm, something like that. And this super pure, bright, white light appears. It's like the brightest and whitest and purest light I've ever experienced, seen. It was like nothing from this world. It was like so powerful. And like it flooded me and literally pulled me onto the floor, like face down, boom, onto the ground. And all it told me, again, not by words, but it was like this spirit telling my spirit, like, I'm Jesus Christ. And like, and it showed me like, I'm the master of everything. Like I hold ultimate power and reign over all these realms. I sit at the top of it. And that was it. And it was like, wow. So my name is Richard. I'm currently 36 years old. I grew up in Germany. I work as an offshore engineer at sea. I also work as a chef. This is kind of what I do.
All right. So you got a pretty wild story ahead. Where does it begin?
Well, obviously being born, like for all of us, I guess. I had a good upbringing, good childhood. I was raised Christian, raised Catholic. But there was no association really to it. Like it didn't mean much to me. And then as soon as I was a bit older, I, left church, really never turned back to it. I'd say I was probably quite an intense child for my parents, a bit of a troublemaker, so to speak. I got into drugs at like quite an early age, around like 11, 12 years old. It just numbed me out through all my teenage years, early 20s. And then eventually, when I was getting into a master's degree, I had to, the workload was so much. And then I stopped doing these things, and then kind of, a lot of things surfaced, came up, bubbled up. And that's kind of where, my spiritual journey, if you want to call it that, started, where I started seeking help, started to seek answers for the things that were going on, and also started to seek spiritual things, because I sensed there was more, to this world that we perceive and see with our physical eyes, and the things that are going on.
Got it. And so now you're looking for answers. What are some of the pathways, modalities, things that you went into, and for how long?
Right. So, I was about 27. As I said, I was in my studies, my master's. It was a stressful time, and I went into a full-time job for the first time. And I think after, half a year, I had like a full-blown burnout. And that's when I kind of really started looking. So I think it started off with things like meditation, Buddhism. I read like books, I think from Thich Nhat Hanh, these kind of things. And they struck me because they were speaking about a spiritual essence. They're speaking about things that I wouldn't find in the Western world too much. So I was really drawn to these kind of things, to, spirituality in call it the Far East, like Buddhism, Hinduism, yoga, meditation, Vipassana. And then also at some point I quit my job, and I went to a New Age, you could call it a New Age community in the far north of Scotland called Findhorn. And I spent 2 years there, trying out different modalities of living, of being, of trying to make sense of this earthly experience down here. Yeah. And there was that. And then also, over there you could call it pagan. So it was a lot like, things, they do in like the Native American Indian tribes, like, sweat lodges, vision quests, connecting to basically seeking God in nature. A lot of that, a lot of meditation, going inward, and just kind of emptying the mind thing. And then from there, like I also got into Tantra, Tantra yoga, like, which was quite intense as well. And then also my journey led me deeper and deeper into psychedelic work like LSD, mushrooms, San Pedro cactus. And that really opened up my perception to the reality of the spiritual realms, that there are things we can experience in the spirit that have a very direct effect on this physical realm. And then also eventually that led me to ayahuasca, which is like really, very profound. It's like really, very strong experiences, that I did for quite a while. So it was in total over a time span of, about 6, 7, 8 years probably, where I tried out a lot of different modalities. Yeah.
And your full immersion here. You're talking living in these communities for years on end. You're really going deep. You're going after this. I know we were talking earlier, then you found ayahuasca and then you started to really pursue it. And you were talking about one time where you had many cups and you were really going after it really deep, and then some things took place.
Yeah. So, I said before, I think ayahuasca was like the most potent, strongest, deepest experience, so to speak, but also like, at a cost. It was intense. Like I'd see a lot. I really travel deep in, you could say other dimension, other realms, out of body experiences, like things like I was baffled, so I really pursued that because it was the most powerful, potent thing at that time that I discovered. I was like, yeah, I'm going fully in it. And I think it was the third ceremony or so I had, where I was like, now I really want to know what this thing got for me. So I, drank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know a lot of cups. And then obviously, at some point this stuff really kicks in, and takes you to places. And it really like took me, into other realms, dimensions, to a point where I wasn't really aware of my body anymore. It's like, I was really in spirit. And there was a teepee ceremony. So like, I think we're about maybe 20 people sit in like one of these Native American Indian teepees with a fire in the middle, and you have the shaman giving the medicine and music and singing to like, bring in the spirits, so to speak. And next thing you know, I felt the presence coming in through the door like a wind, like really strongly. And everything around me kind of turned into like a matrix. So it was like everything was like little pixels. And it showed me that we're like the dimension that we're actually in as physical human beings is a matrix. It's like you could say program. It's like a reality, but it's not, it's one of many. And these pixels could change. It was like, it's matter, but it's at the same time kind of energy that changed any time. And the next thing you know, this presence comes in really strongly. It was really powerful. I'd feel like in my spirit, it was really powerful. And I come in and I even couldn't look at it really. It was like, woof, like so strong. And it was not a physical being, obviously. That was in the spirit, right? And it had the form of a shape of a reptile, kind of a gecko thing. And it kind of, went over the wall like this. And it showed me that it can change anything in this realm. Like it's like the kind of the king of this realm. And it held tremendous power. I was like really, you could say scared of it, like really in fear, like, whoa, what's this thing? This like, and it kind of spoke to me and told me, not by words, but like in the spirit, it showed me like, I'm the master of this realm. I'm the spirit, I'm the spirit of this plant. I'm the master of this. And I was like halfway on the floor. I was like, whoa, what is this? This is like really, it was a tremendous deep experience. But then next thing you know, in the spirit, I go up like what seems to another place, an even higher place, like way beyond this place. It was like, I couldn't even describe it in words. It was like, 10 billion light years away from this realm, something like that. And this super pure, bright, white light appears. It's like the brightest and whitest and purest light I've ever experienced, seen. It was like nothing from this world. It was like, imagine you're out there in the universe and there's nothing, and like Big Bang, like this light appears like so powerful. And like it flooded me, and like I was floored. I was like, a gazillion times stronger than that spirit that came in before. It literally pulled me onto the floor, like face down, boom, onto the ground. And all it told me, again, not by words, but it was like this spirit telling my spirit, like, I'm Jesus Christ. And and it showed me like, I'm the master of everything. Like, I hold ultimate power and reign over all these realms. I sit at the top of it. And that was it. And it was like, wow. So Jesus must be real, or this power, so to speak, because it's not a person, right? It's like, it's a spiritual encounter. And it just basically showed me like, I hold reign over all these realms. I'm the king of all these realms. And like, yeah, it was really like flooring. You could almost say fearful. It was fearful, but like not in the sense of like scared of it, but like in fear, in awe of the power of it, you know? It's like, never experienced anything like it. Yeah, it was a tremendous experience, yeah.
Wow. So you come out of that. At that point, are you clear, oh, Jesus is the king of everything? Or is a bit of integration, a bit of the search continues?
Yeah.
What happens after that encounter?
So, yeah, it definitely left an imprint on me, obviously. You know, it showed me like, okay, there's spiritual realms out there. There's different dimensions out there where we can encounter all sorts of things, different spirits. And it also showed me that Jesus Christ is very real. Like, you know, it's this spirit of Christ. But I was still searching, and I was still like, you know, okay, let's find more, you know, like what else is out there? Like, so it was clear to me, but at this time I didn't have the knowledge and understanding, about how the spiritual realms and dimension, how they operate. It's like, I was still a baby, basically. It's like coming into this world as a baby. I think it's the same. It was for me anyway, coming into the spiritual realms and learning what's out there and learning that Jesus Christ is very real. And at the same time, I was like, yeah, let's, you know, what else is out there? Like, let's continue to search. Like, you know, what's the actual answer in all of this? Yeah.
Got it. And so you continue searching, and COVID comes around. And maybe telling me there's a period where COVID took place. You're in New Zealand.
Yes.
And you have an unusual experience of a sort, or you run into some unusual people.
Yeah. So in the timeline, actually, that was before that particular experience, about like a year maybe.
Okay.
And yeah, I was in New Zealand. I was like, it was lockdown. It was a weird time. At that time, I was also like taking lots of psychedelics, lots of LSD, lots of mushrooms, cactus. And the place where I was in lockdown, there were a lot of mushrooms growing around. So, you know, and I don't know, I guess it was similar for everyone. Lockdowns is like lockdown, having all this time. And then, you know, obviously I started just eating a lot of mushrooms with a friend there. And it was like, I'd say it was kind of like the veil is being lifted. So, you know, I did some research about COVID and all these things that were happening, and it led me to like all these various conclusions, seeing things that are going on in the world, like really dark things, you know, like, I don't know, child abuse, like lots of different topics that I got into that are for me very real, that are going on in the world, that are really evil and quite disturbing also, so to speak. And yeah, it was kind of a bit too much for me. I went kind of, not psychotic, I'd say, but like maybe somewhere close to it, you know. It was too much for my system to digest, to comprehend. It was like, oh my God, there's some really weird stuff going on in the world. I couldn't put the puzzle pieces together. So with that, and then being in lockdown, I was like, wow, there's like definitely stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in this world that I don't understand, but it seems to be real. And like, I want someone to talk about, to find someone to talk about these things with. So I kind of, after lockdowns, I went on a journey to find someone to share my experiences with. And like, is this real? Or what do you think? That kind of thing, right? Like, you're a seeker, you want to know. Like, you go out there, you seek people that are like-minded, that have maybe answers. So eventually that journey led me up to the far north of New Zealand, and I met a woman there on the market, and she was like really aware of these things as well. And we got into conversation. She was like, yeah, come around tomorrow at my house. We're doing a lunch. And there's other guys there. They're also like, you know, how to say, maybe mainstream would term it conspiracy theorists, but I term it just people who are maybe curious, or they're aware that there's other things going on than, you know, what they tell us in the media or what's being told officially. So I sat down with these guys, and they were just like unleashing like a lot of, I'd say, spiritual knowledge, a lot of things I couldn't even grasp or comprehend. They would kind of always connect to certain snippets that I also encountered in my, you know, my search, entering certain rabbit holes, so to speak. But there was something in my spirit that was like, wow, these guys, they talk about something that's, it's truth. I don't know. I couldn't make sense of it really, but it's like, yeah, there's truth in it. And then these guys were basically Christians. So they were Maori, like, they were indigenous people to New Zealand, but they were Christians. And they were like, basically, they were part of a church that had a prophet in the early 20th century. And they were very spiritually minded, but they were Christians. And I never encountered like any Christian that was actually spiritually minded. You know, they told me, a lot about the things that are going on in the world, and about Satan, and about certain people that worship Satan, and, you know, that are involved with not so good things that have a very direct cause and effect on this world. And then, you know, we'd go for a walk, and one of them was like reading me scriptures out of a Bible, and things. And it just hit home. It was like, I don't know what it was. It was like, whoa, what's this stuff? Like, this is in the Bible? I was like, well, what is this? Like, I didn't know what it was. It was something in me, in my spirit, you could say, that was stirred up and told me, well, this is truth. This is like, but I didn't know what it was. It almost brought me to tears, you know, because it was beautiful things. It was like things about like why the world is the way it is, how we got there, why there's certain things that are really bad, how to navigate it, and, well, ultimately actually how loved we are. And it was a lot of things. Some things I could make sense of, others like not so much. But in my spirit, I knew like, wow, these guys, they're onto something. It was like really like, you know, hitting home. Like, it was like, wow. Something like that. It was quite a very unusual but profound experience.
Got it. So you've had this encounter with these guys, these people. You've had this encounter with ayahuasca, and then bang, Jesus, something happening, speaking to your spirit.
Yes.
So something's going on, something's building up, but yet you're still continuing to seek and search. But then a turning point down the road begins to happen where you come a lot more stronger in your walk with Christ. Maybe take us there. So,
there were all these snippets of experiences with Christ, so to speak. Like you said, there were a few others as well where like just really in deep despair cried out to God. You know, like there was a suicidal period. There was moments where I was literally floored on the ground, like desperate, tormented, you know, mentally, physically tormented, like depression, anxiety, like it floored me. And I was at the end with myself, like, I didn't know what to do anymore. So I just cried out to God. I was like, God, please help me. And whenever I did that, there were 2 or 3 moments like that. The torment would just stop, like immediately. So again, these were like snippets where they showed me like there must be something real about God and Jesus Christ and all these things. Eventually, I met you about a good year ago, and you said, well, look, you're trying all these different spiritual things, but it seems that, you know, you're having these Christ encounters as well. What about you go on a diet, so to speak, right? It's like, I see it as that, like if I feed myself with all different kinds of food, like too many different things, my body will go a bit funky, right? It'll go like, well, why are you feeding me all these different things? So, spiritually as well, I put myself on a diet. So it's like, okay, I put all these things, yoga, plant medicine, I put all these things aside and just like, okay, just going to try Jesus and God. So I put all these things aside and just started to pray to God and literally asked him from my heart, from the depth of my heart, like, I know you're real. I know you exist. I know Jesus is real. Like, please reveal yourself to me. Please show yourself to me. I want to know you. And that was when like the puzzle pieces kind of came together for me, that it's very, very real, that God is real, Jesus Christ is real, the Holy Spirit is real, that the Bible is very real. But through direct experience, because through prayer, through the prayers I did, like things would shift, certain things would shift. I don't know how to describe it even. It was like, God did something in me. It's like, you know, he answered my prayers. Like looking back on it, I think that's what it is. And I obviously had other people helping me that prayed for me as well. And eventually he asked me, do you want to be baptized? And I said, yes. And then that was, I think, one of the major shifting points. Like after that, it was, I think I went to 1 or 2 churches, like small churches, like not like, the kind of big religious institutions, and they were just singing about Jesus and reading the word and these kind of things. And I think it was a period about 2 or 3 weeks where I was literally crying almost every day. And it was like a homecoming. It was like a deep, deep knowing that like I'm finally home. So all this seeking for truth, for why am I it was like an experience of like, I'm home. I found what I was looking for all these years. And again, it was like nothing that would, rationally would maybe make sense. It was something that was talking deep to me in my spirit. It was like, you're home, you're loved, you're saved, it's fine, you're good. God's got you. But like really like in such a deep way, it's so profound. I was literally crying liters and liters for weeks on end. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you're coming home. I remember witnessing one encounter where the Holy Spirit came into a church, and I remember the look on your face. That was something for me that I got to witness in your journey. It was deep. So you're having these encounters that are strengthening you.
Yeah.
You've just come back from spending time in the US, doing the RISE program over there. And how's that been in terms of strengthening your faith, your relationship, and your journey?
Yeah. So, I guess once after, coming home, obviously the journey actually only really starts then. So it's like, then, I really started to pursue God more, read the word, seeking people who have been in this walk for longer. There were different experiences. So this one you mentioned in the church is quite an interesting one. So before I only know spiritual manifestation through, you could say, works. So, I'd sit down for like 10 days in a Vipassana, like not eat, just meditate from 4 a.m. till 9 p.m. Then after 10 days, like pop, you get this experience maybe for a few days where you scratch on another realm and you feel like you're somewhere else. Or through ayahuasca, you take things. But this was really different. This was like, first of all, kind of random. These encounters also like, so it was like in this small church close by here in Portugal. And a friend of us was introducing this little worship festival we put together. And as he mentioned, like, okay, in this land and this festival is dedicated to the Holy Spirit, this wind moved in the church. Like literally the Spirit, for me, I know it's the Spirit of God, it's the Holy Ghost literally moving. But it's not like by taking anything or doing anything. It's just like, no, the Spirit of God just comes in and moves. And it's like a wind, like an energy that's like a gazillion volts. That's like, it made my hair like it's completely like not from this earth, I was like, whoa. And for me, it was like the Spirit confirming like, yes. And it's really unusual, very unusual, because before I'd only know this experience through doing certain things. But, it was that one. And then also, we've been, to this church in America, we call it Revelation Church, where, they have a prophet and, they really move very strongly in the Spirit. And, I again encountered the Spirit of God as something they call deliverance. So basically, it's a process through prayer where we can be freed from certain things that we accumulated through our life, spiritual things, through open gateways, that can come in through like, witchcraft, through alcohol, through sexual intercourse. So there's many things in the spiritual realms that we are not aware of, and deliverance is one way, in the Christian world, so to speak, to find freedom from that, from these oppressions. Can be, mental oppressions, can be all physical things, all sorts of things. So we were in a service, and he was praying this deliverance prayer, and then literally suddenly in the Spirit, I saw the hand of God moving over the building. Literally, like you could feel a presence. It's like, again, something not from this world. And I could see the hand just doing like this. And, again, I'd feel like a presence, like so tremendous. And, I myself, and there was easily 20, 30 other people in the in a building, they'd be flawed, starting to manifest things like evil spirits, basically, so to speak, or certain oppressions that had surfaced. And God was basically, long story cutting short, He's take me on a journey from where I'm now through all my life, and He showed me, look, when you've done this thing, when you've tried this spiritual thing, or when you've drank this bottle of alcohol, or this came in, took me on a journey all through my life into the childhood, and showed me all the different kind of things that I accumulated without knowing, because I was just being me, not knowing what I'm doing, like we all do, and showed me, look, this, boom, I take this out, boof, you're free, boom, I take this out, boof, you're free. So that was another huge experience, like on the journey then, as a Christian or followers of Christ, whatever you want to call it, where God is moving, and He still continues to do so, and it's from glory to glory. It's like there's levels to it. There's deeper experiences. It's like once I came into Christ, it's like I step into a relationship with God, actually, and He builds me and teaches me things and refines my character. He refines my spirit, my soul. So it's like an unlearning, undoing, healing process. And it's been great. It's only been a year, but I'm literally like, in so many areas of my life, I see like a stability, a groundedness, a peace. Like there's just not many things anymore that shake me, really. Like, there's still, of course, we're humans. We always learn. We always, have difficulties, but with God on your side, it's like, it's like, there's just a deep knowing that whatever comes at me, even death himself, won't harm me, because He's overcome it for me. And so there's a deep peace that comes with it. And the encounters are like just beautiful. They're not like every day, because it's God. It's not like, God, do this, do that. It's like, God is not your uncle, it's not like a genie. But yeah, it's really like a relationship where he refines my character, and builds me. And it's been very beautiful and exciting, and it continues to be so, yeah.
Love it. Thank you, Richard. And Richard, so for those watching this who can resonate with your story, your journey, perhaps some of the challenges, the seeking, from your heart, your spirit to them, any final words or parting advice you'd like to give?
100%. If you're searching wherever you are, like if you're lost, if you're in trouble, if you're searching, if you're looking for truth, there is a God out there. He's really real. There's lots of other things out there that are also very real. But yeah, if you're curious, if you're seeking, just start speaking to God. Ask Him, like, God, if you're real, Jesus Christ, if you're real, like, I want to know you. Show me that you're real. Like, make a move into my life. Because for most of us, especially in the Western world, I think, we grew up with Christianity and stuff, and it's just, of course we run away from it. I run away from it. The last thing for me where I'd search for God is in the church or in Christianity. But actually going through all these years of searching, I'm at the conclusion it's the most profound, spiritual, deepest experience and the most holistic, full answer to all the searching I had. So yeah, just, speak to Him. He's very real. He's very alive, as He was back then, and He's still now. He's still working miracles. And He's got a lot for you, and there's nothing you have to do for it. You just have to step forward and ask for Him to come into your life, and He will work 100%. Like, things will happen. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.